We all know that the best way to know what someone else is thinking is simply to ask them, but sometimes that can be a bit awkward. However, you can learn a lot about someone simply by observing their body language. You might be surprised to find out what signals you are putting out for the world to see. One great way to let your body language indicate that you're a fan of The Richest is to use your finger to press that subscribe button and then turn on notifications. Faking it. Sometimes we try to keep our innermost feelings to ourselves, and some of us have better poker faces than others. But there are a few tells that can give you away when you are trying to tell your partner their new outfit is flattering, or assure someone that their child is simply adorable. If you hold your face too stiffly and clench your jaw, people can easily read your distress. Tightening your neck, furrowing your brow, or clenching your jaw all make it seem that you are uncomfortable, no matter what you are saying, even if you're smiling. Likewise, if you aren't sure if someone is smiling out of happiness or politeness, try checking the area around their eyes. When you genuinely smile at people, the corners of your eyes will crinkle, creating what we call crow's feet. Real smiles use muscles around our eyes called the orbicularis oculi, while fake smiles use cheek muscles called risorius, meaning that our fake smiles don't reach our eyes. All smiles require you to flex the muscle around your mouth, but if your whole face isn't getting a workout, you're not giving a genuine smile. Blinking. If you can't catch someone faking a smile, you might be able to tell if they are being less than genuine by observing how often they blink. When observing someone, you want to keep in mind their baseline behavior, that is, how they normally behave. Researchers have found that when being untruthful, people actually blink less frequently than normal. They believe this may be due to the fact that they are trying to remain composure and think of lies. After they are done telling a lie, their blinking will greatly speed up. Some believe that this is because the body is catching up from all the missed blinks during the lie. Others think that it could be a bodily response to the anxiety of seeing if the person you are talking to believes your lie. Because some people believe that liars will avoid eye contact, some liars will look you in the eye too much in an attempt to make themselves seem more believable. In America, people generally maintain eye contact for 7 to 10 seconds, and we usually maintain it for longer when we are listening as opposed to talking. Sitting pretty. The way in which you position your legs while seated can convey your feelings to the people around you. If your legs are tightly crossed, it can mean that you are closed off and are not to be approached. It's a defensive position, so if you're trying to avoid being chatted up at a bar, try sitting this way. On the other hand, if you are hoping to make new friends while on a night out, try sitting with your legs open and relaxed. Of course, you also want to keep your wardrobe in mind for this so you don't end up showing off more than your emotions. If you sit with your legs splayed too far, you can come across as sloppy and careless, and that's just not attractive. Anxiety can come through your legs and feet in the form of leg shaking or foot tapping. This conveys your stress, and it can be off-putting to those around you, particularly if they are being driven crazy by the sound. If you feel anxious during a social situation, try replacing the shaking with a more calming action, such as crossing your legs at the ankles. It's like folding your hands on your lap and will make you feel and look more relaxed. Mirroring. If you are engaged in a conversation with someone you are fond of, you may find yourself mirroring their behavior without even realizing it. You can adopt their body language, posture, and even the volume and intonation of their voice. When it comes to people, seeing someone leaning their head the same way as yours is a very good sign that they are interested in you and what you have to say. It's an excellent way to convey empathy to others, and it's not even a uniquely human trait. Dogs have been known to catch yawns from humans and are more likely to do so the closer bond they have with the human being doing the yawning. Besides yawning, smiling is also contagious, and seeing other people's smiles makes us want to smile as well. Some scientists believe that our brains contain mirror neurons that affect the part of our brain responsible for facial recognition and recognizing facial expressions in others. When you see someone alter their expression, this neuron causes a mirror reaction to occur on your own face. Mirroring makes us feel in sync with those around us, and it's an excellent nonverbal way to express empathy. Eyebrows. While most of us have faked smiles out of politeness, it's a lot harder to fake an eyebrow raise. The top half of our faces can convey a lot more than the bottom half if you know where to look. In general, our eyes, brow, and forehead are much more difficult to control than our mouths are. A quick raise of the eyebrows can indicate surprise or that someone is trying to flirt with you. In many cultures, returning an eyebrow raise is a way to indicate romantic interest. Raising eyebrows can be seen as submissive since it gives the face a younger look and is actually a reflex in small children. Conversely, lowering your eyebrows conveys dominance and aggression. You'll notice that when sculpting their eyebrows, men tend to trim from the top, while women prefer high arches that are trimmed from the bottom. When observing eyebrows, it's important to keep context in mind, to tell the difference between someone expressing shock or someone expressing romantic interest, since those are two vastly different things. Raising just one eyebrow can mean anything from skepticism to flirting, depending on what context the gesture is made in. Trivia time! Let's put your body language knowledge to the test. If you see someone talking on the phone and their feet keep pointing upwards, what does that mean? We'll decode that behavior at the end of our video. Stand up straight. If you've ever had to listen to your parents or teachers tell you not to slouch, well, they were right. Squaring your chest towards someone signals that you respect them and are paying attention to them. When someone new enters your group, it's a kind gesture to turn towards them, thus inviting them into the conversation. Slouching tends to convey that you aren't confident in your own abilities. Ideally, you want to set back your shoulders in order to open up your chest and project confidence and ability. Although this may be a departure from your normal stance, try not to appear too stiff and formal, or people may perceive you negatively. When speaking or listening to someone, make sure that you aren't unconsciously leaning your body away from them. This makes them feel as if you aren't interested in them or that you are intimidated by them. Turn your shoulders to them and stay firmly upright to project power and confidence. Hands. You probably know that crossing your arms is a universally negative signal. It means that you are either defensive, angry, or feeling emotionally cold about something. But beyond that, try observing the way people move their hands. Constantly touching your own neck or manipulating your hands into strange positions also conveys defensiveness. It's generally best to try to keep your arms down by your sides if you want to come off as welcoming and honest. If you're using your hands to touch your nose, some people believe that indicates that you aren't being truthful. To convey honesty and lessen the chance of you being accused of picking your nose, keep your hands away from your face. Some of us naturally gesticulate more than others, and this can help us add emphasis to certain words and phrases. However, flailing your hands around too much can be distracting and may make you come across as nervous or flighty. Try using very deliberate hand motions instead to get your message across better. Other handy tips to appearing cool, calm, and collected is don't bite your nails or fidget with things, or else you will come across as anxious. Flirting. When it comes to body language, there is often a very thin line between appearing flirtatious and seeming anxious. If you want to be able to flirt effectively, you'll want to pay close attention to these subtle differences. Playing with your hair or continually brushing it out of your face often conveys flirtation with just a hint of nervousness, which can be a great sign that a date is going well. However, if you are in a job interview or meeting new people, these are gestures that you want to avoid because you will simply come across as anxious and unconfident. Lip biting is another signal that can convey attraction to someone, but it has to be done properly. A little nibble on your lower lip can seem sexy, but chowing down on that area makes it seem like you are insecure and don't know how to properly articulate your feelings. Pay attention to how much lip biting is going on, as well as the context of the situation. Pursing your lips can mean that you are puckering up for a kiss, or it can mean that you are withholding information from the person you're talking to. Shake hands. A handshake is about far more than a simple action. Your body language can convey a lot about you during this common greeting. When approaching someone for a handshake, make sure that your hands aren't stuffed into your pockets. This makes you seem closed off and as if you are hiding something, whereas having visible hands makes you look open and honest. The most overall unappealing handshake is the dead fish, which is when you let your hand hang limply in the other person's. This conveys low self-esteem and poor self-worth. Releasing a handshake almost instantly makes the other person feel as if they are being dismissed and comes across as aggressive and rude. A two-handed handshake can convey warmth, friendliness, honesty, and trustworthiness, but only if your left hand remains on the other person's hand without traveling up to their wrist. Grasping the wrist or further up the arm with your other hand conveys that you are trying to get something from the other person. If you end up grabbing the other person's fingers instead of their hand, they feel as if you are trying to keep them at a distance because of your own insecurity. To convey confidence and warmth during a handshake, make eye contact, try to match the grip of the other person, and shake from your elbow and not your wrist. Feet. It's easy to notice when someone is incessantly tapping their foot, but observing where their feet are pointed can give you even more insight into what they are thinking or feeling. Generally, where your feet are pointed is a way of signaling where you want to go. During a boring class or meeting, you will unconsciously point your feet towards a door because you can't wait to leave. If you see someone with their feet pointed towards you, this is a good sign that they want you to approach them. Of course, you have to make sure the person is aware of your presence, so wait until you see them glance at you a few times before approaching. While body orientation can be a good clue as well, that comes after foot orientation is already in place. If you are speaking one-on-one with someone who is romantically interested in you, they will often step forward with one foot as if they are going to start walking towards you. This is a way to close the distance between you and signal their interest. Do you know what it means when someone points their feet upwards? It means that they are getting some good news and reacting positively. By studying someone's body language, you can learn a lot about what they are thinking and feeling before you even speak to them. Of course, don't observe people too closely unless you don't mind being perceived as creepy. Before you head off to practice your handshake, be sure to like our video and subscribe to The Richest for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.